So the CS2 market just continues to climb higher. We are about to break $5.3 billion. We are now up 10.5, almost 10.6% in the last 30 days, and almost 9% in the last 90 days, up 5.33% over the last week. And as you guys can see, if we just zoom in a little bit here, you can see how wild this is getting. Now, we do need to be cautious here because although, yes, this is very exciting to see, yes, we're making money off of our skins, it's great, right? We still need to be aware that this is a very, very small niche market where manipulation is very prevalent, which means don't go out impulsively buying up the market because you're afraid that it's going to be too late to buy later. No, make sure that you are watching this market, avoiding things that are extremely manipulated. Look into things that are still cheap, maybe even things that have lost value over the last 30 days because they could be showing us some solid opportunities during this time. And the main thing that I want you guys to understand, and one of the most important things to also focus on, is looking at what's being manipulated in this market and just simply avoiding it, because this typically means that there's someone out there with a decent amount of money buying up supply, squeezing it, and waiting for someone to flood in, providing the liquidity for them to sell. So if we're thinking about this, right, we're watching the market. We're looking at things possibly moving over the last 30 days. I mean, there's a few things that are up big over the last 30 days. There's a lot of things that are just naturally going up because of the supply and demand, which you can kind of see just by doing a little bit of research. But, you know, overall, it's been an incredible 30 days. I mean, just looking at some of the top tier skins in the game. I mean, Butterfly Knife Fades are up 6.6% in the last 30 days. Hedge Mazes up 9.39%. This is field tested. Field tested Pandora's Boxes up 6.74%. The Hot Rod M4S 28+%. Karambit Dopplers 13.4%. I mean, even the Blue Phosphorus, the ones that really are standing out to me are the ones that are up like 30+%. The Blue Phosphor is almost up 30% on the last 30 days. And we also have the Hydroponic AK up 43+%. We love to see that. Desert Eagle Blaze, 30, almost 7%. Superconductors up almost 26% as well. And just scrolling down the list here, Icarus Fell is up 30+% on the 60 day, up 44% on the 30 days. The Icarus Fell looks great in game, so you know I do think that this is also from just supply and demand, but it's also, you know, getting squeezed significantly from, you know, the supply side. But on top of that, we also see some other gloves like Spearmints, which I'm kind of surprised about, up 21+%. And just scrolling down the list, you can see that the rest of the market is just bouncing back. So we love this, right? It's great. However, there's a few things that are getting heavily manipulated. Like, for an example, Desert Eagle skins. If we're looking at this, we could see some of these skins in the last 24 hours up 44%, 30%, 28% almost, 25% almost. And the question here is why? What is going on with this market? Well, again, this is just clear manipulation. Even some of the higher tier skins have exploded over the last year. I mean, this is probably just, you know, overall supply and demand ratios. But if we're looking at the rest of the market, I definitely do think that there's room for major manipulation here. Outside of that, we also know that stickers have been getting heavily manipulated. And here's a great example of why you don't buy into the hype. So Evil Genius Stockholm Hollows, they were going insane. I mean, they were pumping like crazy. And if we're looking at this, it's now dumping, right? We hit $150. We're now back to like 80 some dollars or so. We could see like they just fell from $150 to $80 and are currently back to 115. They're going to bounce, right? Volatility is definitely hitting the sticker market in a big way. But this is clear manipulation. Someone is manipulating a lot of these stickers. This is definitely just an example of that. On top of that, we also saw another sticker go insane, which was the Renegade Stockholm 2021 Holo as well. In the last 60 days, it increased over 4,360%, a difference of a 43x return. Again, this is manipulation, guys. We cannot get caught in the storm. If we bought these, before the big pump, hey, taking some profits, selling some is not a bad idea. But thinking that these things are going to go to like $1,000 or something crazy like that is just a little bit ridiculous. And even if they did, think about the liquidity. Who's going to be on the other side of that transaction to buy these stickers at those prices? Almost no one. So we just need to be aware of that. And then also, it's not just the Renegade sticker in the Stockholm collection. We could see that almost every single one of these holos have just been going insane. If we're thinking about this, this is this is what the market looks like for some of these stickers. It's wild. And we have down here in the past 30 days, the CSGO 2021 to 2023 stickers index has increased by plus 30%. Again, somebody saw an opportunity here. This is what I mean by looking into some of the indexes on priceempire.com's website. You could find things like this where the index is down so low, completely wiped off of the board going back to 2023. And this could provide us with a great opportunity. And if we go back to April, guys, this was prime time to be buying up these stickers, because after that, we started to see the market completely bottom out, and then we started to push to the upside. And by the way, the April bottom also kind of marked the bottom, believe it or not, around stocks as well. So it kind of has something to do with liquidity, kind of just floating for markets, if you really want to look at it like that. But also, it's someone scouting these markets and just buying up supply, causing these things to go insane. Because again, it's very clear that market manipulation exists in this market. Any single market out there that is small, that's niche, that doesn't have a ton of participation is going to see manipulation as well. So this is normal. It's something that we have to deal with, but that's why we're looking into, skins that are not going insane over the last 30 days. Because if we're looking at the last 30-day increase on some of these skins, guys, AK skins are up 100+% across the board here. Again, there's some that are not. And looking through this list, you could probably find a decent opportunity just kind of looking at the list in the last 30 days and seeing which ones didn't really push up in value over the last 30 days. We're still at like the 30% plus mark on the second page here. But just if we scroll through here, and I know that Price Empire has been a little bit laggy for me, so I do apologize here. But let's just go back to the first page and I can kind of show you guys real quick what I mean. So, if we're looking at the last 30 days, because we're not looking at just the 24 hours. If we're looking at the last 30 days, there's some AKs out there that are down still, or even at like break-even levels that we could buy up and probably see a nice profit on these. And most of these are not bad skins at all. Like, for an example, the Phantom Disruptor. I know that a lot of people don't like it. The supply is significant. You could kind of avoid this one, but I'm just using it as an example. It's only up 5.6%. And, compared to some of these other ones, you could argue that there's definitely an opportunity for it. And I would also look for factory news here. I wouldn't be looking at like Minwares or Battle Scarred or anything like that. There's definitely some opportunities in those areas too, but for the most part, we're looking at factory news just to collect them and hold on to them for a bit of time until they start to really kind of gain a lot of value. You could also look at the 60-day as well and kind of see what's really losing value. Now, also make sure to focus on volume or at least liquidity tied to some of these, because you can get caught just bag holding a few things if you are not careful. So just be cautious there. But then also the thing that I love to invest into the most is, just cases, because we know historically that cases are just going to continue to be opened up. So the supply is going to diminish, which means that the demand for them, with the supply diminishing, with demand only rising, this means that it's going to be a prime example of price action floating to the upside. And if we're thinking about that, we're looking at how cases have been performing. A lot of cases are up in a big way over the last 30 days, as you guys can see. But also on the 24-hour span, a lot of these are also pumping. Now, if you guys know me, then you probably know what cases I'm looking at the most. I still think that revolutions are being opened more than they are dropping, and they have incredible skins tied to them. Obviously, you can avoid active pool drops if you want. That's totally up to you. I still think that the revolution case is definitely one to look into, and even the dreams and nightmares case. But if you're looking for something that's not an active rotation, maybe something a little bit more pricier, then look at the danger zone case. I still think that the danger zone case is a good example of a good trade because it's only up 1.38% in the last 60 days. It's a complete flat case that has almost no moves happening to it, which tells me at some point in time, this thing is going to start to surge in value again, very similar to other cases that have been really moving up in value because of just simply supply and demand. And outside of that, there's also some other cases that I think are some pretty, good options here as well. Gamma cases, things like that. Like the gamma case is up 6.4% in the last 30 days. It's a great case to look into simply because of supply and demand and also what's included in the gamma case. So there's some great opportunities out there shining here, and it allows you to avoid the craze. It allows you to avoid the manipulation of some of these things that are possibly getting people wrecked right now. Because if you were buying up, a few of these things, specifically the Evil Geniuses holo, maybe you were riding this pump, you were, hoping that it just continues going up. Some of these things will wreck you over time because it's prime time for manipulation when a market is as small as the CS market. Obviously, the CS market is and has been around for quite some time, so it's old. But there's still a ton of manipulation no matter how big we get. So just be cautious with that. And, also focus on updates, right? We just got an update on September 3rd. It wasn't a crazy update. There really wasn't much tied to it. The last major one that we got was back on July 15th, which you guys can even see on the chart. You can see exactly when it happened because it did cause a little bit of, let's just say, fear, right? We'll just say fear. It caused some fear in the market and it caused some pain as well. And now we're back above these levels, but just remember that Valve is cooking another update for the game. Now, it's going to probably be a little bit of time, but is it going to break the market? We don't know. But one thing that I know for certain is that, although this market is pumping, we're at new all-time highs, just be very cautious of manipulation. Don't get caught in the storm because this market will have another sell-off. It's not going to just continue going up and up and up and up. There's always going to be pullbacks. There's always going to be sell-offs. So that's typically the best time to look into buying up a few skins, cases, stickers, whatever you want to buy during that time. That's the time that you want to utilize, not when things are going crazy to the upside. So right now, if you were looking at investing, I would say look at boring things. Look at things that aren't really moving in value. Don't chase hype at all. So with that being said, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, definitely leave a like, subscribe, turn notifications on to never miss a future update. And with that being said, guys, this has been Nick. Thanks for watching. Peace out.